All right. NFC North. This one might take a while. Just because never mind, I'll just get to it.
You
Chicago
gave out a lot
Bears.
of Fs. A lot of Fs in the North.
Yeah. Chicago Bears. They got an F. I guess this will take a long time to explain, but I think if people hear me out, they'll end up agreeing. They started with the first pick in the draft. They moved down with the Carolina Panthers. The haul that they're going to end up getting for Bryce Young is basically going to be Darnell Wright, the 4th round pick that they got from Philadelphia next year, Tyreek Stevenson, or no, not even him, Zach Pickens, and whoever the Panthers' 1st round pick is next year. That's fucking awful. It's a fucking awful return for the first pick in the draft. Not only that, I think Darnell Wright is a total gamble. Like, he really reminds me of Mekhi Becton. He's way too fat. He was like gasping for air at the Senior Bowl. He was good at the start of the practice. God, his conditioning sucks. He really reminds me of Becton. He had one good year at Tennessee, former big time recruit, but he did nothing as a freshman, sophomore, junior. One good year. I think he's a right tackle only. To pick him in the 10th pick in the draft, good luck. They used the Roquan Smith pick on Gervon Dexter, who is another fat guy that really can't get off the ball. Good luck. They ended up trading up, so they gave up some picks away for Tyreek Stevenson, who you like, Chad. I'm not quite as high on, but that was a pick that I was fine with. Roschon Johnson sucks. He was Bijan Robinson's backup, former quarterback recruit. Why you're wasting 4th round picks on that guy, I don't know. Tyler Scott is a kick returner. The only other pick that they might get a little bit credit for is Newell Sewell. But what the fuck was it? What was this draft? And not only that, they traded away what should have been Joey Porter Jr. for Chase Claypool.
Who he's not on their team anymore, right?
No, he's
Wasn't
on
he
their
done
team.
it? He's still on their. Oh, that's right. He got injured last year. That's why I don't remember him playing a lot.
Still, would you rather have Joey Porter Jr. or Chase Claypool? And it's not just an even swap. It's basically what, 1 year of contract control for Chase Claypool compared to 4 years of contract control for Joey Porter Jr.
Well, I mean, not to mention that, if you take Joey Porter Jr., you don't have to take Tyreek Stevenson in the 2nd round. So there's that too. I'm not going to go quite F. I think I'll go D.
Okay.
I
do like the Zach Pickens selection, and I like the Sewell selection. So maybe
I like the Stevenson pick. That's why I like that more than you, because that was my guy. I liked him at Miami. The Darnell Wright thing, I agree. I think top 10. Honestly, I don't know. I think you maybe could have got him like I think you could have got him in the 2nd round.
DeJuan Jones went in the 4th round.
So
I don't know.
Even later. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just think I feel like that was the biggest reach. So when you reach like that, it's definitely detriment. Most of these guys, they are what they are. They're not anything special, nothing to sneeze at.
Not only that, they passed on Jalen Carter. They could have just picked Jalen Carter. Instead, they got Darnell Wright.
Well, that's fair. Well, I mean, if anything, you could say they passed on Jalen Carter and took is it Gervon or Jervon?
I don't care.
Well, the dude from Florida, they took him. Then they could have had Jalen Carter.
He's another.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining that they didn't take Carter, but
that Dexter guy is a total gamble. Total gamble. He might suck. I mean, he really didn't do much at Florida. He's a big body, big time recruit, but his 10-yard split time was fucking awful at the combine. He's kind of like a big guy that moves well, but didn't really have any production.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think it was a terrible draft, but I don't go quite F. Go D minus, whatever.
I would say this next team we're going to talk about had the worst draft of the entire day. I don't know if F- was possible. I just left it as an F, but
can they get like a -5?
yeah, something like that. Detroit Lions. What the fuck was that? Wow. Okay, so they started with the 6th pick in the draft. Keep in mind that was part of the Matthew Stafford trade. Somehow that turned into a running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you don't automatically go to jail for doing that, but it happened. And I think the worst part of the pick is, like, does anybody understand that if the transfer portal didn't exist, he's going in the 4th round? 2 years ago, he played at Georgia Tech. Like he was splitting carries with Jordan Mason. If he's just graduates at Georgia Tech and he never transfers, there's no way he's the 12th pick in the draft. The Alabama helmet got him to pick 12.
Oh, I thought you were going to continue.
Well, I can keep going.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree there. I mean, if you wanted Jahmyr Gibbs, I think you take Jahmyr Gibbs, but don't take him at 12. Like, you could have easily gotten him like pick 25.
Probably. Apparently, there was a report out they were gonna pick him at 6 if they didn't get an offer.
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy.
I mean, at least they had the sense to trade down at least once.
Could you imagine if they took him at 6?
That would be insane. Well, yeah. 6 because I mean, Bijan went at 8.
Yeah.
So that would have been insane.
They were gonna take him at 6.
That would have been just fucking terrible. Like you wouldn't even be able to give them an F at that point. You'd have to give them like a Z.
Yeah.
Get a fucking W for this draft. That's your grade.
Why I wanted to just pause on that.
W for worst.
That pick I just wanted to pause on, but we'll keep going. Jack Campbell, pick 18. I had him as like the 6th best linebacker in the draft. And the craziest part about it is Jack Campbell went at pick 18. Drew Sanders, who was the next linebacker taken in the entire draft, went at pick 67. There was a 50 pick gap between the next linebacker that even gotten taken.
That pick has fucking Dan Campbell written all over it.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
Like I mean, I'm not I think when I think of Iowa, like their linebackers, like okay, yeah, they're not terrible.
He's Josie Jewell 2.0. Congratulations.
What'd you say?
He's Josie Jewell 2.0. Congratulations.
Well, but my point is that like I agree with you, like taking way too high.
Way
but
too high.
My point is like it's a Dan Campbell pick. He said I feel like he probably gets like they give him like one executive decision that he can make every week, and he used his on that pick.
Whatever. Then in the 2nd round, and this guy, I was like, you know what? He might have some potential. But they picked Sam Laporta at pick 34. He was the 2nd tight end that went off the board. The 2nd tight end that went off the board, Sam Laporta. What the fuck was that? I picked 34. I thought he was going in the 4th or 5th round. Then the only pick that, if you want to give him credit for, Brian Branch at 45. Good pick. Like that pick a lot. He's going to be a starting safety for them. Jack of all trades. I have him as 90% Minka Fitzpatrick. Good for them. But other than that, it kept getting worse. Hendon Hooker, he's 25. He needs to play. Like, I don't know what their plan is for him, but does this mean that Jared Goff is gone or Goof? I promised I would only call him Goof. Is Jared Goof gone now? Is he the starting quarterback next year? I don't know. Broderick Martin, Western Kentucky defensive tackle, did not get invited to the combine. He was a 3rd round pick. Just fucking awful from basically start to finish, other than Brian Branch.
No, I mean, like I said, I agree. Like the F, it's very valid. Brian Branch is a good pick. Mm-hmm. Hendon Hooker, like, I don't know. I'm not taking a like. Maybe they're like, we're just going to use Hendon Hooker. He's going to be our designated backup. But I feel like if that's the case, you're not taking a backup quarterback in the 3rd round. Like you're the guys you're taking as a backup quarterback, you're taking in the 5th round, 6th round, whatever. So, I mean, that's got to be their plan. It's like, we want this guy to just be our backup.
He has to play. He's not 21. We can take a couple years to develop him. He's got to play.
Well, like I said, I don't think it's a development pick. I think it's just hey, we want this guy to be our backup.
They're going to pay Goof.
I think so.
Okay. Green Bay Packers, I also gave them an F. I thought they had a great opportunity to really rebuild this thing. They got extra picks from the Aaron Rodgers thing, but I felt like they kind of blew it. And it's not really surprising considering this is the same GM that, passed on Justin Jefferson for Jordan Love and when they already had Aaron Rodgers. So maybe we shouldn't be surprised. They wanted to do that pick swap from 15 to 13, but was it really necessary in the case of Lucas Van Ness? Don't think so. He also started a total of 0 games at Iowa. Did you know that? 0 starts at Iowa. Not 1.
I didn't know that he had 0 starts. I know I wasn't very high on him.
0 starts at Iowa.
Did not know he didn't start, though.
He was a rotational pass rusher. So that's the 13th pick in the draft. We're off to a rough start. There were a couple picks that I did like this one, Luke Musgrave, but he's hurt all the time. So I guess if that's your Aaron Rodgers 2nd-round pick that you got, and they did need a tight end. But the fact that they picked him and then basically said, well, if he does get hurt, we're going to take this dog shit guy from South Dakota State, Tucker Kraft, who I thought was awful at the combine. Why you were going to take a 2nd tight end there in the 3rd round, I didn't really get. Jaden Reed, pick 50, thought it was way too high. To me, he wasn't even the best receiver on Michigan State. That Keon Coleman, who's still there or in the transfer portal, was way better than him. He's a small guy who can kind of run, but isn't really a great route runner. He had a good zebra time on the Senior Bowl stuff, but wasn't blown away by him to go in the 2nd round. Colby Wooden, whatever. Sean Clifford in the 5th round is fucking nuts. How did he even get picked? And apparently that's their new backup quarterback. So he went from Aaron Rodgers to Sean Clifford is now the backup. I don't know. Dontavian Wicks, he'll probably be a rotational guy. They did get a kicker, if that counts, but I don't think they got anything. This was a Rick Spielman draft, that old fucking Vikings guy. They came away with a lot of picks and didn't get anything.
I don't know if I quite go F. I think for me, I think it's kind of just really sort of below average, not total failure. I think maybe C-, D+. I think that, like you said, all of these guys, they're pretty much they're kind of just average. Lucas Van Ness, I wasn't high on him, but I think that taking him around the middle of the 1st round, that seemed fair to me. I didn't want him to go to the Eagles in the top 10, but I definitely didn't think he was a top 10 player. But I figured, value-wise, where based on how I thought the board would fall, I figured, around the middle of the 1st round, that was appropriate. I think I think the reason why I say C-, D+ is because the Jaden Reed was a reach. I liked him as a receiver, but at the same time, I felt like you could have gotten him in the 5th round, based on what was in this draft. So there was the reach there, but everything else, I feel like all the other guys, they're average. They may make the roster. They may be special teams guys, but I don't think outside of maybe Jaden Reed, I don't really think there's anybody in this draft where I'm like, I feel like they're going to be a consistent starter.
The craziest part for me, and maybe you disagree, I think the Packers can still win that division. Before the draft, you go into it with the ammo that they had. I thought they still had a shot to win a division. Now, I don't I don't know if I really feel that way.
I mean, I don't know. For me, it always depends on how Jordan Love does. I feel like I need to see more with him.
Fair. But
there's a chance. I mean, there's always a chance, but I feel like I as everything stands right now, I feel like I'm still more comfortable, without Aaron Rodgers being there. I'm more comfortable saying, okay, it's probably going to be the Vikings, or, I mean, based on free agency, the stuff that Detroit did with their defense, I'm a fan there. So I could see it. Vikings.
But to me, if the Packers came out of this and they got a couple offensive linemen, they cut a couple guys on the defense that really helped them, another couple weapons. I mean, they're going to be able to run the ball with AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
and their defense isn't bad.
Right. I mean, that's true.
So
it would still depend on Jordan Love, but yeah. I see what you're saying.
Vikings also gave them an F, so every team in the division got an F. I like the Jordan Addison pick. And if you want to say they don't deserve an F because of him, fine. I get it. I also think they could have just taken Jamison Williams last year, and this need of theirs would have been taken care of. So he's basically their Adam Thielen replacement who's no longer there. I think Addison's a good player, but after that, they didn't have a second-round pick. Mekhi Blackman, I thought he was awful. USC couldn't tackle, and he is one of the guys on their defense that couldn't tackle. Jay Ward, I have no real thoughts or opinions on him. Like, I watch a lot of SEC football. I have nothing on him. Jacqueline Roy, former big-time recruit, but didn't do anything, so he fell to the 5th round. Jaron Hall sucks. And the running back they took in the 6th round, Dwayne McBride, because there's some rumors that Dalvin Cook might not be on the team by week 1. They're trying to work through his contract. If they think that guy can step in and like replace the things that Dalvin Cook does, they're out of their fucking minds. He's a total fumbling machine. So I didn't get it. So, I think their GM's a dope.
I'll agree with your F there. For me, anytime, whether it's just by one pick or it's multiple picks, anytime you go into the draft and you have less than 7 picks, the guys that you get, they all have to either be complete steals, or they have to be like just appropriate. That's exactly where that guy should have been kind of takes. So, I mean, outside of Jordan Addison, I agree with you. I think everything here is just it's whatever.
They got one guy.
Yeah. So
if you leave the draft with one guy, I think you should get fired on the spot.
Yeah.